Okay. Just gotta do the normal checks, because the time you don't do the check is the time it doesn't work. I don't see. Oh, there it is. That was stuff. TikTok. I see myself. Here we go. There's that is that. So I'm not sharing desktop audio because there's not really anything to share, especially since my games don't have anything. Let me grab the live chat. We'll throw it here. And if you're interested, our IRC channel has moved from Freenode to Libera.chat. So it's the hashtag MOOSADEE, and so you can join us there if you'd like. Well, there's also a Discord, but I get so tired I don't want to do talking much these days anymore. Have you ever noticed that it just feels like it's harder to keep track of message boards and chats, chat rooms and stuff like that? Like, I just haven't felt like doing it. Why does this have water in it? It's supposed to be empty. I guess I rinsed it out. That's why it has water in it. Why is that in the garbage? I don't know. Well, it's another Friday. Here, I'll turn this on. Make myself look a little more even. I don't really know what to work on. Let's see, we got this screen. I got this screen. And I could set up some cropping, maybe, or I don't know. I need to figure out how to make this all kind of work better, because this is not full screen. And then I have all this empty space everywhere. But then also, I don't take up a whole lot of space here. I don't know. We'll just do a crop. So last time when I was streaming, I implemented Fin and Kit in Scratch. Put a link to that on the itch.io page. Since then, I've also basically created a GitLab group for Musadi. And it has a lot of the main programs I've worked on over the last 20 years, kind of the main games that I remember fondly, bigger projects usually. Not, I mean, it's what I have. I don't actually have the source code for this one right here, which is written in VB5, but I have the executable. I committed all the stuff, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's no source code in here. So there's that. I can't find the executables for my other old Visual Basic games, so I will have to find a CD that I have floating around the house that has my old games on it, but that's there. All this source code is here. And I wasn't really sure what to work on today. No one really said anything in the IRC channel as far as suggestions. So, and I've had a rough week. It's been kind of a shitty week. But, so my two main active projects right now, and you can also see them in here because they're just publicly available. I might have to update my Git directory. But I'm currently like paused on working on any Vamoose because I think I said last time I don't really want to have a lot of people in my house. Or, 3 other people from different households in my house. So I still have just been working on paper notes for this game, and I did a little bit of stuff in C++ on Wednesday. The game looks really terrible, but maybe I can work on that. So for instance, if I run this, I was working on trying to make some procedurally generated plant things. Oh, let me open up a window capture for the game. Nope, that's not the one. Where is it? And it's not visible. There it is. We'll make this take up the entire screen. And I'll hang out over here. It's doing that because I keep clicking and SFML keeps capturing stuff every time, even when I'm have focus on a different window. So this is made up of several different plants that I kind of created procedurally out of just triangles. So if we can kind of adjust this part, it's a test state. So here's the core ones. This one was just generating a bunch of random ones. So I did these 4 kinds of coral here, and the coloring's not quite right. And I probably won't make them random colors if I use this, but just basically sea plants. And it doesn't look great. Oh, and there's my little cephalopod made out of triangles as well. Also not very attractive. But my thought process was, you know, sometimes when I'm making games, I've done so many 2D games before where I've implemented 2D maps. I've done that. I've implemented top-down physics. So sometimes I get bored of stuff that I already know how to program, and so that's why I was thinking of, like, what if I tried to make everything art-related procedural? And I think right now the octopus guy, the cephalopod, does not change appearance, but I can adjust its little hat part. That's what I call a little pointy part on top, and then I can adjust like its color or sizes and stuff. And then as you see, like, these plants will just kind of, this is like a recursive function that just branches out each time. This is one core thing, and then it does the side spikes. This one is just a bunch that all have the same root. This one is just a bunch that are side by side. So I was thinking, like, maybe I could make an interesting looking game if I could, you know, kind of get everything correct, and it would be a challenge to kind of procedurally generate all of the art, but also that means I wouldn't have to do art. And another challenge on top of that is, at the moment these are all static, but if I wanted to have them animated, I'd have to make the vertices a little bit more sophisticated, where these are all very small. I don't know if I can make these much bigger, but like if I wanted this to sway, I would basically have to tell it where the anchor points are. Like, do just the tips sway, or here's like the tip of one of these. This would be I guess, I mean, I don't know any like 3D or like animation terms, but kind of like a little joint maybe. And then those could be connected, and then those could all like kind of sway back and forth in the water independently. But again, to make sure I don't get analysis paralysis, I'm just trying to keep it simple to start with, where we just do static images and can come back to it later. And then with the itch page, so I put my notes every time I do these paper notes as I'm trying to think of stuff. So those are up there if you're interested. I am not showing the screen. Why did my webcam do that? But these paper notes are up there if you're interested in that. Now, I think that I'm going to work on this today mostly because of one thing. Also, sorry to disappoint, this was the original graphics I made. And if that fits better, then I can do that. It does look a lot more cheerful than what I just showed off on the screen with my procedural art. But I didn't want it to be very tiled. I wanted it to be more fluid in a way. Yeah, so, but I got one comment on this blog post. Normally no one ever comments on my itch.io page. And so one of the reasons I've had trouble even like working on anything for a long time is just like, is anyone gonna play this? Does anyone actually want this? I don't know. So that makes it really hard to stay motivated to keep working on one thing. Now, if we look at my analytics on itch.io, I don't get very many downloads. Someone downloaded some zines. You know, some zines. 3 people downloaded Fin and Kit. Maybe I was one of them. Downloading zines, downloading games, and then they look at games every so often. But I don't get a whole lot of views. I do consistently get views to Language Arcade now that I have that up and I'm working on it. So I'm a little bit more motivated to work on Language Arcade because people are looking at it and it would be something that I would use and find useful, and I like the original versions I made. But then again, as far as trying to build this game and just kind of designing stuff on paper, it's like, what am I making and why am I making it? Like, who cares? Nobody cares. Yeah, do I care? I don't know. I don't know what the gameplay is going to be like yet. I'm just going to experiment with stuff and hope that I can make it cool. Let me see if I can find, what did I name that? Candy Cavalier. Okay, so this is one of my old DeviantArt pages. Sometimes I post pictures. There we go. So one thing I have in mind for what I kind of was thinking about for making it was this other game I was trying to make a long time ago that I never really, 2014, that I never really kind of kept up with. It was for the Candy Jam because the Candy Crush people were suing Banner Saga because they both had Saga in the name or some silly stuff like that. So everyone was making games with the words Candy or Saga in the name or Crush in the name. So I basically, it's just everything's kind of randomly placed and then you're gonna go fight big tooth monsters. But I kind of liked the idea of just exploring. Hey there, hey Cody. I watched a bunch of your videos ages ago when I was learning to program with C++ and Allegro. I've been programming professionally for years now, thanks in part to you. Thanks so much, Cody. You know, my parents would say, like, they named me Cody, or they named me Rachel, but they would have named me Cody if I had been born a guy. That's okay, though. I've given myself a guy name. I have my own name. So, yes. That's part of what I'm thinking, is just like you randomly wander around and then procedurally building out the maps based on regions, which actually, let me open this back up. I'll show you I don't remember which notes I put it in. Not that one. Okay, so I was thinking it's not a great design, but you know, working with radiuses, you know, distances, I think would make it kind of interesting. And also a lot of procedurally generated game levels are very tile based, very Rogue inspired. But I was thinking more of like having a radius, like you have your start area and then, you know, further out after you go out of town, then you have kind of the first area that's not too dangerous and you're trying to do stuff there. And then you can go further out if you have enough resources or find the stuff in the kelp lands or whatever. And then eventually you go to the further out area to find the last thing. And I really only wrote in like 3 things that you're trying to find because I wanted to try to make it a small game. But then at the same time, now I'm like, well, I'm gonna try to do some graphics stuff I haven't done before by doing procedural stuff. So that's where we're at right now. I have a bunch of ugly plants. Ugly plants. And an ugly cephalopod. And with some games, especially in the past, I could like visualize what I wanted it to be. That is not the case here. I have no vision for this. So I'm kind of just tinkering and seeing what sticks. So we'll see how that works out. So maybe right now I'll work on maybe making a town area and just seeing if I can make that look interesting at all aesthetically. What I'm probably going to do, as far as, I like to listen to music while I'm working, but I also don't want to be copyright flagged, so the way I kind of deal with this is just saying, hey, turn on your own music. Oh, thank you. Like, turn on your own music and make it just a low volume, and you shouldn't be able to hear mine because I have the desktop audio muted. So I'll listen to the Bug Snacks song. I'll listen to Bug Snacks. And then I will work, and then you can listen to whatever you want, so you can have your own soundtrack. So I have tried to use procedurally generated music, but some of that was still copyright flagged. Like, they generated it and made it MP3 file and put it on the internet, but then they also went through the process of making sure that it would be flagged on YouTube with a copyright flag. I don't know if it was a strike or not. That was frustrating. I was like, I'm trying to find random music just so I can have music in the background that's like something. So I don't know. Okay, so as far as the village area, again, I have more drawings. I'll just put these on the other screen for me to reference. There should be other cephalopods there. Well, it's not a very good drawing. Oh, these are also out of order. Cool, okay. So kind of like a circular area around a geyser, like they're hanging out around a geyser for the warmth, and so that affects how they are building their stuff. Wow, rude. I don't know, what are you responding to? Oh, the procedural music generation thing? Wait, where's, oh, that's my drawing tablet. I'm afraid of saying something rude on accident because I've been like apparently saying rude stuff all week and people are getting mad at me. I try not to be rude, but I'm human, I guess. Okay. So the idea is we have a geyser in the center. It's not really great drawing, but we'll procedurally generate some rock houses. So in the game, I don't know how I would even do a top-down view of a geyser. Or should it be kind of like RPG style view where you have like, you can see the buildings from the side and it's kind of top-down but not. Oh yeah. So like a geyser thing, I could maybe do, you know, hey, it's spewing water and we'll build that out of triangles. But then all of the houses are going to be assembled by whatever and facing the geyser. So the idea here is, the kind of concept of the thing is, there's a shark that has been attacking our cephalopod friends. It'd be smaller than that. Because it's looking for food, and now this, and yeah, so the cephalopods are in danger, so they built structures because they got hand tentacles. They could pick up rocks and move them. Again, these aren't Earth octopi, they're alien cephalopods. So they've been building houses, so they'll have all these houses that are kind of facing that. And so that'll be the village area, and you'll just go out from there. I'm planning on, you'll be able to go close to a dude and it'll just say like, please get food, grass, please, like seagrass. And yeah, so that's kind of the idea of the initial area. Let's see what we can do. So I have a procedural object class. It's going to need work. I'm just currently using it to build vertex arrays, and then drawing out those vertex arrays. And then I have a test state. So I still have the game state, which is using the nicer looking graphics. Oh, that's not the right state. Is it supposed to be game state? I did that wrong. And I don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing that. So there's those things. But we will try to assemble something like a town using our procedural objects. So I'm going to need rocks. And I'll clear all these objects back. And then it can then be decorated as well with plants. But I figured, I mean, I guess there would be sea life around the geyser as well, other life. So I'll try to, we'll see. It's iterative, nothing is final, we'll just mess with stuff. So I will need to make a rock type. Let's do like basic stones and also rock house. And so in here, I'll just create a rock. We'll do those both for a test. Rock house. Okay, so in here, let me move this maybe to the bottom. We have an object, and then I have a bunch of functions here. I haven't really abstracted stuff out into their own objects or anything. And some of these are recursive, some of them aren't. So for instance, let's make probably a recursive function for rocks. It'll just be like a pile of triangles. So set up rocks. Like maybe a small rock would be just a few triangles, and then a big rock house would be a bunch. I don't know. Okay, so we'll add that over here as well. We'll do a rock house. Okay, so close these up. I might need one for reference. It's all kind of messy, but I mean, once it's written and then I can tweak the specific function to make the graphics, I don't have to really go edit much. I have this annoying set of if-else cases, which can be cleaned up. It does not need to look like this. And then this would be kind of a light gray, so we're going to go with maybe a darker gray. And at the moment, those are empty, so it's not going to create any vertices. So let's go ahead, and the way I've been doing this is I basically have a certain amount of times it will recurse before it returns. For each one, there are different amounts. So let's just say if step is 2, basically the third step, then it's just going to return. And then for some things I've had like a initial step. So for the coral that has the big stalk in the middle, oh, well, it looks like my webcam's not working. Oh no, it's working. Okay. For the coral that has a big stalk in the middle, it does that first, and then everything else kind of recurses off of that. But for 2 rocks, I don't think I need that. I just need to have some random X and Y coordinates and set the color. So we'll need some vertices and some steps. I'll go ahead and copy paste, adding the vertices and the recursion part. And then for the color, I was like adding a little bit up. Oh, so I like to name functions this way if they're kind of a bunch of permutations of the same kind of idea. So the setup one here, the cephalopod, does not recurse because it is literally a set of triangles in the middle and then a bunch of tentacles that come off. So if we're gonna draw these and we were thinking about building plants versus building like a character, with a plant, you can kind of use the same step every time. You can say, here's our first triangle, that's step one of our tree, but then it's going to have 2 branches that come out, and those come out at random directions. So it comes out with 2 branches, and then because it's recursive, it recurses for each of these. This one's going to have 2 branches, this one's going to have 2 branches. So then it branches out, and so I build a little piece of coral this way. This is using a recursive process, whereas my cephalopod is literally a set of triangles like this, and then a set of triangles coming down, and then a hat, and then some eyes. So these, I just specify literally, here are all the triangles you need in this order, what they look like, and so I hard code all of these, whereas this is a little bit more random, and then I use that recursion to do the same steps every time. So that's how that works. And then I just like to prefix like a name underscore just to kind of say that this is a setup function and it's kind of like an extra helper. I don't know. Just to make it easier for me to read. Okay, so for our vertices for the rock, I usually create like it's all hard coded in here, but like a width and a height. So they end up being about the same size as a tile at the moment, but I'd be able to make bigger items without much trouble. So with the rock, let's just keep these for now and we'll adjust it. So otherwise we'll say vertex 1 is equal to a, well, vector, technically these are vectors, and then we're making a vertex out of the vectors. So x coordinate, I have a random number generator function, random, get random number. Or I guess I could do get random coordinate. So I could do that. So for our, it'll be x, min y, max x, max y. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Let me just keep a comment up here so I don't get confused. Okay, so with get random coordinate, at minimum x, we have a position that gets passed in as like kind of the root spot, the one point where it starts at. Hey, drugged puppy, I don't know. I'm basically just kind of iterating on things and experimenting. This is the page, oops, this is the page for the project. And I have paper development logs here, but I've just been messing around. I'll show you once I finish making this triangle. So anyway, the base, wait, let me think. Maybe we'll start just vertex 1 at the base that was passed in. So the base, and then we have to think about the other triangle. We have a triangle here, that's like the base, whatever xy that was passed in as this is the location. And then I would think a rock could maybe pass as like, you know, different shapes, different kind of triangles. So maybe something like that. So our second vertex could be over here. We would be the same y coordinate and then x plus some amount. So usually I do a, actually, let's not do random coordinate here. So we'll need a random x, and then we will need the same y. So base.y is the second part. And shallow get random number. We'll do base.y plus get random number, and so I could pass in like, I was using the width, so we could do negative width divided by 2 to width divided by 2. So that's kind of distributed there. That's the second one. And then the third one, the third vertex, keep losing my glimpse window. This one, if we're thinking of it in this way, isn't going to be the same X or the same Y, but it may be about halfway from both. So we could say it is base.x plus v2.x, and we can have that. And then it's going to be higher up, so we'll just say base.y plus height, and then we'll adjust these. So that will make just a triangle, hopefully, if I didn't mess something up. I don't see it. Oh wait, it's right here. It's very hard to see, so I'll change the color. We'll make this, let's make it a lot darker. So at the moment, I did the height in the wrong direction, so it is pointing downwards. Since I was working with Scratch with a bunch of the Girls Who Code kids, my coordinate planes got all mixed up again. So that's not really as fat as I would like a rock to be. And it is recursing one time. We'll comment that out. So let's make it, maybe it'll go from negative width to width, and it'll be, well, okay. I don't want it to be 0 or between that range. So let's just go ahead and say from width divided by 3 to width, and then it'll just be anchored at that one side. So that's okay with me. So there's kind of a different shape. We'll uncomment this one out, and that will make a second one, but unfortunately it's at the same base, so it's gonna overlap a lot. We'll set these to 50 so we can see the color change. Oh, you still can't see that very well. But instead of the base here, I will send it the second vector, then it will be moved over some more. So not quite where I want it. Also, how would I make this look like a rock? In my mind, like maybe the starter part could be this way, but if I was making another rock, maybe it would be over here. Or do I want it mostly flat? Do I want something like that, maybe? So it could have maybe halfway through the other one and then go out like some similar width, and then I'm not going to restrict it to being on this line, but just somewhere kind of halfway in between. So for the second one, we can use the same code for the most part. And I will just pass in base.x plus v2.x in half, and then v2.y. So we'll try that out. So then that should overlap more. So now they're, kind of like that. I could continue adding rocks. If I continued it recursing, it would just keep doing rocks like this where they overlap. So if I did step 4, maybe I'll move this rock to the right some more. We can see that now it has 4 steps and it's all just spiky spikes. So does that work for rocks? It could work for rocks. I could make different functions for different kinds of rocks as well. That could just be a rock type. I wonder, the lightness of it is supposed to get brighter. But it doesn't seem to be doing that. Even though it's passed by reference, why are you not making it a nicer color? I don't know. Okay, so that's a rock. Let's make a rock house. And again, I can come back and tweak these anytime. The rock house itself will have it should at least kind of look like a cave, but at the same time, you know how in RPG games, you always see the house from this side, right? I mean, you could have them this way, but your roof is going to be here. And so everything is kind of shaped that way. So the caves, I need it to be clear from our view that it is a cave. And I guess like kind of that. And I don't know, maybe that. Oh yeah, when it animates. Yeah, and so I could make certain things animate by just doing random each time, but what I was thinking of is taking like a top vertex and keeping track of like which part can move. So like the ground would be anchored to the ground, but the top could like sway back and forth with a sine wave. Just kind of a little bit, you know, like in games when you're running around and like maybe the grass dances or the flowers dance and it looks a little bit nicer. So if we had some caves, we'll do, you know, gray triangles. So we could just pile up some triangles to some amount of width and then have another set. But I also want it to be a little bit craggly. This is gonna be hard. How do I make a nice cave? Make a cave out of triangles. We could just do a triangle strip for like each layer. But I don't know. Does that look like a cave to you? It's like it's really hard to visualize it unless I do it. But let's kind of just start with one thing at a time. So, and this wouldn't be super great for recursive unless I like specifically separated it by steps and said like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, something like that. Lumpy Coke snowflake. So let's just start with, actually, I just had a thought. What if I did something like this? I should have made that the white background. What if I made this easier? What if I did a triangle like this and then did a dark triangle like this? What if I did 2 triangles and then, you know, I could add like random little extra triangles? I feel like that would be a lot easier. Yeah, fractals. So let's do big triangle. Else if step is 0, we'll use that as the base one. Do that. So I definitely want it to be bigger than that little rock. So we'll make it set these over to. So there's a big triangle. I kind of want it wide, wider than tall. Of course, there's going to be different views of it as well. That's not what I want to do. That's not quite what I was envisioning. What? What, kitty cat? What is it? Come here. Come here. Come here. Luna. Luna. Come here. Luna. Why are you meowing at me? Come here. Oof. Okay. Hello, Luna. It is the Luna intermission time. Oh, now she's just gonna sit right here while I work. Right there. Hello, Luna. We'll change this up a little bit. Say cat cam. That's the wrong thing. Whee! There we go. I know that covers up some of the code, but we'll do that. I know she's kind of hard to see, but she's a cat. There she is. Look over here, Luna. Look over there. Look, it's a camera. Okay. Oh, so I need the third. Oops, Luna, you're on my keyboard. This needs to be v2.y. That's not what I was thinking. v1.y. I'm getting these mixed up. It looked like a shadow for the dude there in a second ago. Let's actually keep that, because I want the width, the base to be like that, and then we will do... That is very hard to type with her back in the way. Okay, so that's a triangle. And then I guess if the cave is, I guess maybe I need to make different. We'll just do one at the moment, but in this case, I want the width to be the same. Or the X, dang it, Luna, your butt's in the way. So like that, and then we'll do another triangle. Hi, Luna. Hi, Luna. Okay, do I want that bigger though? That's all kind of small. Maybe a little bigger. And also that's kind of dark for that base first part. Which really, I don't necessarily need to pass it in. But we'll do that. And we'll do... So the smaller one here, let's take base.x plus, wait, I don't have the width of the previous one. Okay, maybe we won't make this one recursive. We'll just make this its own big thing. Because I'm going to need to reference some of the other points. But as you can see, do you see my keyboard? You can't see my keyboard. There's just a cat on the keyboard. Can you move this way, Luna? Look over here. Come here. Okay. So this will be the first part. So this is the base, door. So the door will be at, oh, I need to store these as well so I can reference them. Okay. Never mind here, we're just gonna do this. Okay, and then these just have V1 and V2, just like before. Okay, so I'm not going to really need to reference the door anymore after this, but we'll do base x plus v1.x divided by 2 to get the halfway point, and then base dot y. And we're going to try to keep the other two sides the same. So I thought might, well, not quite the same height, but we don't want to reuse these. These will be a darker color. Okay, so the height will go from maybe a quarter of the height up until a third of the height. Yes, that will be this. Okay, that's not what I was thinking. I did something wrong. Base plus width, so oh, this should be V2. Oops. So something like that, and then I can add extra rocky jaggies or something. So we'll just let's do int extra rocks is get random number 2 to 5, I don't know. And then we'll just do some extra triangles. Okay, so rocks, the extra rocks should be probably in this region, and then also pointing kind of up, you know, some direction. But we don't want it in the same region as the door. We probably also want it before the door if they happen to overlap. So this can be, say, get random coordinate between base.x plus v2 divided by 2 from base.y. I want the y position to be based on where it is in the x position, but I don't want to do math because I don't want a triangle to show up like right here or right here. Well, maybe I can base them in here. That would look a specific way. That would be one way to achieve triangles up here. Just base them down there. They have to be down there. And then the other two can go anywhere. So, we'll just say rv1.x plus some random offset, which is going to be, let's say, between 5 and 10 we'll test for now. And then the y-coordinate. And this can be from 10 to the height, maybe. So that will be somewhere up there, and then come back down to the ground. So this will be RVY. Let's see, this will be kind of weird. Oh. I thought that returned a vector. No? Yes? It doesn't like that float. Well, whatever. It's still doing it. Oh, well, that's the reason right here. And then probably not enough. Yeah, let me just erase this part. No more cat cam. Sounds like husband is home. So if we, where am I? Oh, do I have too many parentheses? And then it crashed. Where did it crash? Is it? Well, I would say maybe because these are temporary variables, but that shouldn't be. It should just make a copy, right? Where did it crash at? Oh no. Why does it have a minimum of 500 and maximum of 500? That's weird. Yeah. Oh, it didn't like it when it's the same number? Okay, my thing doesn't deal with that very well. So we'll change this to a that random function's probably a mess. It's just something I threw together. And I haven't really vetted it. Okay, so those spikes are going the incorrect direction again. And they need to be original color. So we need this to be a minus, because I keep forgetting. And then we just have really small spikes, so we need bigger spikes. So Okay, I will put the door in front of it too. Okay, a lot of those are starting exactly at the same base X, so since we're doing that, we'll just use the entire width. Oh, this one comes out in the front. I don't really want it to do that, and also let's set this to 10 extra rocks and look at that. I don't know, minus 20 maybe. Well, that kind of is cool looking, right, when it does that. Maybe I should make sure to always randomly generate at least one additional rock in front. Reminds me of the Lion King. It looks like Pride Rock. Here, let me comment these out so I can adjust this other thing. So that's this tiny little one here. I keep forgetting like the height is actually pretty big. And that's really, really thin. So what we're gonna do is make this go until width minus 4 and width minus, divided by 3. Didn't like that. What did I do? We'll do a random height also. Okay, so then that makes a little like jaggedy shape on the end, which looks a little bit nicer than just a flat door. Then we have our random extra rocks, then it'll be kind of like that. They're all kind of biased towards the right hand side. They're going this way, but they could also go the other way. So we have, oh yeah, they're adding on to it. Let's do int. Let's see if that. Now we have stuff going in different directions. Now it just looks really spiky, like they're very good at defense. These are not very rounded rocks. But I guess that could work. And this rock I'll probably not make so dark, but it's also kind of hard to see on the background. I guess maybe I should make the background tannish. Spooky cave. Yes. Where's my background color? So if we had kind of a sandy background, it'd be something like 77, 55, 40. Was that based on 100? I meant 255, dang it. 97, 141, 103. Whee! And you can't see the octopus at all. So we will set the rock to the same color as the house, and then the cephalopod. Let's try 200. So it's a light color and it kind of stands out. This just looks like I'm making Atari graphics, kind of, except, you know, we didn't have such sharp lines. But my octopus just reminds me of an Atari character. Like Atari 2600. Okay, so we have that. Let's set up a few rock houses, and actually I'll need to make them facing different directions, but I'll probably do that another time, because I feel like that will be very tedious. So there's a couple. We could kind of like, again, I don't have like a whole camera system created where you can walk around. I don't even have the character movable at the moment, but I'm just trying to think of like what a town might look like. So let's do a little bit up and a little bit over and kind of make a little bit of a circle shape. I'll move this one up a little bit and then do another one here, maybe. So then they're all different, they're all random. I don't really like the very flat bottom, so that I could also like add a string of random triangles to make it look like pebbles on the ground, maybe. And then there should be like a little geyser thing. That would be, I don't know, a bunch of triangles. The way it is at the moment, yes, I would have to basically mirror the idea of, or the positions and the directions of these caves for the opposite way, and then I'll have to make a special one for facing down, because I can't just flip it, and then one for facing up, because I also can't just flip it. So that sounds tedious. That sounds like something I would do off camera, but we at least have some spiky caves. Maybe I could do like a little critter or something, but I haven't done a whole lot of research into animals of the sea. Because I was looking up, like, what are the oldest species? Actually, jellyfish would be something I'd have as an enemy, I think. Oh, let's actually also add back some of the really terrible plants. We'll see how that looks. That's terrible. That looks terrible. We'll do maybe 20 plants. I should adjust their colors. And also I'll need like a draw manager to make sure things draw in the correct order, but these plants really need to be, I don't know, certain colors maybe. Let's look up jellyfish. Oh, horseshoe crab. I could try to make a jellyfish. So that would normally be kind of a circle. But maybe I could just make it out of 3 triangles, just a triangle plane, and then, like the octopus, I have triangles as its bottom area. So let's do that, and that's probably all I'm going to do today. Yeah, I'll come back and modify this later so that they have, like, points where, like, this can move, and so this will flow back and forth, or maybe based on its directional movement. So for instance, I didn't do a whole lot with this, but where is it? With the old version of the graphics, I tried to draw the octopus separate from its tentacles, and I tried to do that to move around as you're moving. That's in these notes. So for instance, I don't know if you can see this very well. Like as you were moving this way, the tentacles would kind of flow a little bit backwards, or if you were going backwards, they would flow a little bit in the opposite direction. And then that can also be done with the plants and stuff, so that while the game is running, they kind of move back and forth, because if you're underwater, there's going to be a lot of movement and a lot of stuff going on. So, let's see. Let's just do, oh yeah, jellyfish as a test. And it should be kind of a yellowy color. Did I close? No, I didn't. There it is. So we'll go with kind of maybe yellowy orange. We'll create that function down here. And we'll, why does that look cut off? Thanks, code blocks. So we'll copy that. We have a base X, step and color, and then we'll use a similar width and height from the cephalopod. So the body of it is going to be, again, 3 triangles. Kind of adjust this, I guess, but oh, and also let me put this in the test state so I can see it. So yeah. Okay, and need to append those to the vertex array. That's the one. So this should just be one triangle at this point. I don't know where it's at. Oh, I think I saw it, but I need to get rid of these plants. It's a very, very small triangle. Make that bigger. Let's do maybe try 40 to 50. Okay, that's taller than I want it to be. And again, I'll have to do these in thirds, but we'll see what this looks like. Actually might use the height times 3. So we'll do that. That's the first triangle. Then we need the next triangle. So it will be here where it starts off. So this will be base 2. Dang it, code blocks. And then we'll do the same thing. Plus the width divided by 3, and then base 2, or sorry, base 3 and base 4. I renamed that the same thing. That's gonna make me really confused. Base 4. Okay, actually I did that in the wrong way again. Okay, I guess I know nothing, but we need the last one. So base 7, 8, and 9. Let me think. Which one is the bottom right? Oh, because I'm doing it upside down again. Grr. I hate it when like you're transitioning between languages and then you just like keep forgetting the same thing. Okay. So we want base 2, base 3, and then whatever base that is. So base 2, let's do base 3, and which one is the that didn't show up right. Oh, because I also did not append those. Okay, which edge am I missing? I don't even see anything. Yeah. I used to use a library called libgdx. And it was fine, but it also did the coordinate plane at the bottom left, which was really, this is what I'm having trouble with right now, because I'm very much used to this coordinate plane where this is the origin, and then Scratch was doing this whole thing, and so that's what I used most recently, and then libgdx does this, and like it just messes up all of my brain math. Oh, I was thinking maybe base 4. Base 3 is part of the other one. Why is it not showing up? Okay, I just want something to show up. Just to make sure I'm not thinking something wrong. Why is it not doing appending these last ones? 7, 8, and 9. I'm just gonna comment that out. There's that. Yeah. So it is being created. Was it just being completely behind the other things? Why? Oh, this is also why. Why? What am I doing wrong there? Okay, so that's one of the quarters. That's the quarter I want. And base 4. That doesn't look like a difference. That must be the same thing. That must be what's going on. That's not the quarter I want either. So base 2 and base 6, possibly. And then, what's 1? Don't want 1, 2, 3. Probably base 3. Okay, let's try these out. There, now we have that other one. So there's a I don't know what shape that is exactly. I'm gonna steal the tentacles from the cephalopod, and then I'll probably have to adjust the width. Okay, x is base x minus width. With the width here, the full width is actually, yes, that. Not minus width, we want this just at the base. And we want okay, and we still have too many. Is that giving me more than I want? Just let me change this to a 10 real quick. That'll be easier to step through. Oops. I have to click again and regenerate. So it should go, technically I only need like 6-ish. Oops. And what is the value of width? 105. So I would want it to be only about 100 more than that x. And I didn't, can I even look at the vertex array? Let me type in anything. Okay, well, I can't look at it that way. Here's the width. These values. So x is 1130. So around 240-ish or something, or 1,240, something like that. Dang it. So it's moving by 10 each time. Oh, did it stop? Wait a minute, I think I know. Oops. Why did I rebuild it? I am also expanding it by the tentacle width. It still seems like there's 3 additional ones that I don't want. They go to the x coordinate plus tentacle width. So it goes like this. Base x, and then the width is 10, and then it increments, let's say x is 0 here. Then it increments x by 10, then this is 10, and then it does another one, and then that's 20, and it keeps doing that. But it's going past the width of the jellyfish. Let's just try it that way. That's still too many. Oh. Well, that's a really bad looking jellyfish. We're actually going to start this at tent width and do a -5 or -6. That's more jellyfishy, I think. And it has no eyes. It's just a jellyfish. My IRC lit up. You started earlier. Are you using SFML? Yes, I am using SFML. Sorry, I wasn't looking at IRC on this channel, on this side. I was gonna paste a screenshot because I like to keep track of screenshots over time. So yes, this is SFML. I'm just generating graphics and kind of iterating on this game and seeing where it goes because I don't really have any concrete ideas for it at the moment. I think that's all I'm going to do for today though, because I'm stressed. That's why. And I'm getting a phone call, but it's probably spam. No. Okay, so like I like to save my screenshots just to kind of keep track of progress over time. Go ahead and close that. And everything is saved. And go ahead and add these things. Throw that onto the server. Those are some jellyfish. That's an old game. So then normally I would post another blog post, but what would I even say? And also upload any notes from last time, which I don't think I have very many notes, but also my screenshot. Yay! Game design. Streaming. I'll write this later, but I'll put a link to this stream and stuff. But let me turn off my music because I can't think. Okay, hello. I'm gonna go do other things. So, thank you for joining me. I'll keep working on this off camera, and maybe I'll work on it some more on camera next week, and we'll see where we're at. This is my first of 3 weeks off between semesters. It's off, but I'm still working because I still have to prep for the classes. But I'm not in class, so I have some time to code. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll go ahead and schedule the next week's stream, and I was feeling stressed. I didn't really want to do this, but I'm glad I did, so I at least got some stuff done, even if it's not great. But yeah, if you have any projects you're working on, let me know about them, because I like looking at other people's projects. If you want to join the IRC, I'll put the link in the stream description, and I can put the Discord in there as well. And yeah, thank you Cody and Drugged Puppy for joining me, and Sincere Fox for following along, and